Have you ever wondered if your dog's wagging tail or your cat's purring really means that they're happy? Or are we just projecting our own emotions onto them? Some professionals have concluded that pets do not have or show any human emotion and that you are purely interpreting it as such. But what does the science really say? Why are they showing such convincing emotional actions? Let's get started. Hello everyone, and welcome to Zoomies. A topic that every pet owner has wondered about at some point in their lives, and probably debated with someone over it, is: do our dogs and cats really experience emotions like we do? So I thought the best way to answer this, although I am pretty biased and I do agree that they do have emotions, we're going to explore the latest research, discuss how these emotions manifest, and debunk some common myths. By the end of this video, you'll have a better understanding of what is going on in our furry friends' minds and hearts. Let's start by first defining what we mean by emotions. In humans, emotions are complex responses to various stimuli and involve physiological changes, thoughts, and behaviors. While we can easily say and communicate things like "I'm happy" or "I'm anxious," animals don't really have that ability. But just because they can't talk doesn't mean that they don't feel. Scientists often look at emotions in animals as a response to situations that they are involved in. This includes behavioral, physiological, and even neurological changes. But is it really that straightforward? Let's see what the research says. There are studies in recent decades that have shown dogs and cats to have structures in their brains that are similar to that of humans and that are associated with emotions. These are the hypothalamus, the hippocampus, the amygdala, and the limbic cortex. For example, the amygdala is involved in processing emotions like fear and pleasure, which dogs also share. Cats also have a complex neural circuit that suggests that they are capable of experiencing a wide range of emotions. Although it is a well-known fact that cats are not as domesticated as dogs, which does make it studying their emotions a bit more challenging. MRI studies in dogs have also shown their brain activity in response to human emotions, like happiness or sadness, and they can even distinguish between familiar and unfamiliar faces. But it's not just about brain scans and anatomy and circuitry. Behavioral studies have also shown that dogs can read and interpret human emotions and respond to them accordingly. Have you ever noticed your dog cuddling up to you when you're feeling sad? That isn't just a coincidence. They're actually picking up on your emotional cues and reacting to them as best as they can understand. This is called attention-seeking behavior. Cats, on the other hand, while often seen as aloof or distant, have shown a preference for interacting with owners who are smiling over those who aren't. So yes, they do have emotions, but how they express them is actually very different to ours. Let's start with dogs. Dogs are often seen as expressive and emotional creatures, especially in breeds like golden retrievers. They wag their tails when they're happy, they tuck them in between their legs when they're scared, and can even show signs of guilt when they've done something wrong. Or at least that's what we think they do. It has been proven that when dogs are playing or interacting in a joyous manner, they release dopamine, which is the feel-good hormone, just like we do. The tail wagging, the excited jumps, the happy barks, they all show that your dog can feel joy. But then there's also fear and anxiety. Many dogs show obvious signs of stress, like shaking, whining, or even hiding when they're scared. Separation anxiety is a very common issue where dogs display symptoms like destructive behavior, excessive barking, or even depression when they're left alone. These signs are especially common in dogs such as Belgian Malinois and even your Yorkshire Terriers. Now, the big one. What about love? Love is such a complex emotion thought to be only expressed to and by humans. I mean, we even have various types of love, such as love for a wife or a husband, love for a sport, and even love for our pets. There's actually evidence that shows that dogs are releasing oxytocin, often referred to as the love hormone, when they're interacting with their owners. This hormone is the same one that is released when humans create bonds with their loved ones. So when your dog looks lovingly into your eyes, it's not just begging for treats. They're actually feeling something quite similar to love. And now on to our feline friends. Cats have a reputation for being mysterious, reserved, and less emotional. But that doesn't mean that they don't feel any emotions. They just express them very differently to that of dogs. While a dog might jump up and down in excitement when you come home from work, a cat might simply just give you a slow blink. In cat language, a slow blink is actually a sign of affection and trust. Cats also show happiness and content through purring, but it's not as straightforward as you might think. Cats purr for a variety of reasons, including when they're stressed or in pain. So context is key. Trust me when I say, I have a lot of purring cat patients, and I can promise you that they are not all happy to see me and to be in hospital. When purring is combined with other body language cues and signs like kneading and nuzzling, that is a good sign that they're content and happy. But for fear and anxiety, a scared cat might flatten its ears, puff up its fur, or even hide under furniture. Anxiety in cats can manifest as over-grooming, urinating outside the litter box or in abnormal places, or just being overly aggressive. It's their way of expressing discomfort or fear. Now let's tackle some common myths. Myth number 1 is the notion of dogs feel guilt. We often interpret that guilty look, the ears back, tail down, avoiding eye contact, as a sign that your dog knows that they did something wrong. But studies have actually showed that this is more a response to our reaction and previous experiences rather than the acknowledgement of guilt. They're more so reacting to your body language and your tone and not necessarily regretting their own misbehavior. Another common myth is that cats don't care about their owners. This really couldn't be further from the truth. Cats form strong bonds with their human families. They might not show it in the same way as dogs do, but behaviors like following you around, bringing you gifts, or sleeping close or even on top of your face are signs that they care about you and trust you. So you may ask, why does any of this matter? Understanding that your pet has emotions can drastically improve your relationship with him. It can help you recognize signs of stress, fear, happiness, and that you can respond accordingly. It also makes us more empathetic owners. When we see our pets as emotional beings, we're way more likely to provide them with the mental stimulation, social interactions, and the actual care and love that they need. There has been a massive shift on how animals are being treated in the past 50 years, and I am very optimistic about where it is going in the next 50 years. So to wrap it up, yes, dogs and cats do have emotions. They might not feel exactly as we do or have a large emotional spectrum, but they have their own unique emotional worlds that we, as their pet owners, need to respect and nurture. And that leads me on to ask, have you ever noticed your pet showing emotions in a surprising way or something that you've never seen before? Share your stories in the comments down below. I also made a whole video about whether or not cats and dogs actually dream, so go check that out if you're interested. And until next time, cheers.